Hello, everybody. Say hi in the chat, and for the 10% of those whose name I can actually pronounce, I will do so. Then the rest of you, yeah, I'm not going to be able to pronounce your names. I just never am able to do it. How's it going? How's it going? Kai, I got that one. Kai do 7. There we go. That's pretty easy. What's up, Ahmed? Cinema Gaming, what's up? We're going to get started in a couple minutes. Fabian, what's up? Wow, I'm 4 for 4 right now. Federico. Okay, Avaz back. Not happening. Greg, low. Somali Pirate, got that one. JVS, our admin here, is going to help out with the super chats. Yeah, I'm wondering how the live stream's going to do today. Due to the pandemic, my traffic hasn't been as great as I would like it to be. But, you know, I don't know. People just don't feel like watching, I guess. Maybe they're worried or something. I don't know. All right. So, let us get started in a second. All right. Okay. How many people do we have in here? Let me get this down. $43. Oh, this is a pathetic one. All right. Well, whatever. We'll see. Hopefully that number should go up. We're up 55 now. All right. Okay. So the way you submit the website. Okay. Well, let me just go through the spiel again. So this is what I call the negative space, which is just a play on white space and blah, blah, blah. It's not necessarily negative. I give props where they're due. And basically, what I usually do is just a live UI UX review where, you know, you submit your projects and I take a look at them and tell you what I think could be improved. We also do a chat-based rating from 1 to 10 just to get you guys participating in it, just to keep it fun. And yeah, that's it. So how do you submit? Very simply, in YouTube, the YouTube description of this video is a link to the Discord server, which is this chat application right here. Join up, it's free. If it's your first time joining, you'll be thrust into the roles and channel right here, and you will have to click on one of these React icons, and that will unlock all the other channels, and you go to feedback, and then you submit your design, which can be in the form of a mock-up, like a JPEG, it could be a Figma prototype, an Adobe XD prototype, or a live website. And I take these in the order that they were received. However, those of you who would wish to skip the waiting period, you can send a super chat. Just mention your Discord username in the super chat message, and that's it. All right, we should be ready to rock here. Okay, so the very first one that I received up here, because I do announce these things about 90 minutes in advance, is right here from Download Egg. All right. So, oh, also the what's unique about this live stream, I try to do something a little bit unique in each one of these, or at least lately. We're going to be focusing on the UX stuff. So not so much UI, you know, the actual aesthetics of most things. It's more about UX, and UX is a very all-encompassing term. And it means many different things, and it covers many different things. But I'll probably be more specifically, you know, interested in, you know, when I visit your website or your portfolio or whatever it is, or whatever project it happens to be, how does it make me feel initially just upon seeing it? Are there navigation issues? You know, is it hard to get around on the site? Is there a lack of clear direction? Does it make sense in terms of your content, your ad copy? All that type of stuff we'll be focusing on. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So this is the first one. And almost right off the bat, I'm thinking, is this dude like a model or something? It's a large photo but that's okay. Let me just get a general idea. This is an Adobe XD prototype. Okay, so we have projects down there. One thing I think is redundant is you have your name here. You are, or I am, Amir Jacobs. I'm a software engineer. And then right down here in this little blip, you have a card where it says full name, Amir Jacobs, job title, software engineer. This is redundant, you know. So this is a UX thing in terms of how you're prioritizing your content and your ad copy. So you don't need this. Second is prioritizing your content. You know, what's the most important thing starting from top to bottom, right? So we have your name, that's pretty important. You're a software engineer, I would say that's most important. Your name is kind of secondary to what it is that you'd be able to do for a potential client, right? So I think this should be emphasized more than your name. In other words, you establish that visual hierarchy and you use your UI design fundamentals such as scale, font weight, in this case, font size rather, to really increase the size and the importance of this part. Now, having said that, when it comes to ad copy, you want to emphasize, and I've talked about this before, I don't want to be a broken record, you want to emphasize benefits over features. A feature of you is a software engineer, that's a feature, but how are you going to actually benefit somebody? I know that kind of doesn't make sense. Well, you're going to benefit somebody by being a software engineer, right? But you need to be more specific about how you're going to benefit them. So for better ad copy would be best. Second is, you know, your email and your contact information. That's less important than your resume, and it's also less important than your projects too. So I would move the download resume button up here above this contact information. And also probably add in a way for people to go to projects. So it's probably debatable about which is more important for a potential client or an employer. Whether that be, do they want to see your resume first or do they want to see your projects first? So I would give them two buttons here. Figure out probably through user testing, use in A/B split testing, which page is it that people go to more frequently? Do they go to the resume or do they go to your projects? And I would put two buttons for that here. And then emphasize the one based on your findings that you want to use. Other than that, pretty good. Again, I'm not going to be really focusing on UI stuff. That was more of UX spiel there. Definitely want to get your labels on your forms over here for sure. But yeah, okay. So what do you guys think this person should get for their design? And maybe think about the UX. Yeah, let's do this so that they are graded on their UX, not the UI and what it looks like, the aesthetics, but more about the UX of what they have. He still has some good stuff going here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, let us know in the chat what you think. All right, so again, very good call to action here for download resume here twice. Factor that in, you know, factor in the navigation. Is it easy to use? That's one of the things that, you know, we want. Are things relevant here in terms of the ad copy? Think about these things. So for me personally, JVS, I will answer your question in a second. I'm going to give this a, for the UX of it, probably a, let me get my stuff out here. A 5. I'm getting a 5 for UX. Now the UI, I agree, is higher than 5, but for UX, we had some issues there. So that's what I'm saying for that. So let me cut back here. All right, everybody said higher for UX, but again, a lot of people here are used to rating based on the UI, and the UI is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. But we're going to be rating based on UX. All right. Okay. Let's see here. JVS, can Super Chats be done through PayPal? I would like not to do that because it would require me to go to my PayPal account to verify people sent anything or my email address. So let's just keep them to Super Chats for now. If somebody wants to pay me after the stream, perhaps they can message me on Discord. Okay, let's go on to the next rating here. Let me make sure nobody sent in a super chat just to be sure. No, okay, no super chats. Okay. Here's the next one. Let me move this. Thank you for the super chat. I do not know what the SEC currency is, but that's okay. I can't increase the size of this, unfortunately. Like, I can't use Control Plus to like zoom in this Figma. Damn it. Oh, well, that doesn't help either. Yeah, that's annoying. Fit. Can I do display at full size? Oh, Z? There we go. Okay. Okay, so now, let's take a look at what's happening here. It looks like we're in the middle of some type of user process flow for purchasing something. Unfortunately, it looks like we can't click anywhere else, but it's just this scrollable page. So this is all we have to work off of. And again, we're not focusing on UI. The UI is pretty good. I like the colors and stuff. Maybe a little bit inconsistent padding there, but again, I'm looking at, you know, how easy is this to use in terms of specifying a payment method. So this is a nice kind of mobile approach, a carousel that, you know, just extends, that our user can swipe through. So that's good. We have 2 columns on mobile. I'm not too sure about that because especially on a small mobile device like our earlier iPhone, that's going to be quite crammed in together. And really, it would probably make most sense to collapse those form fields onto their own rows and not have any columns, just have one column all the way down instead of 2-column approach. That's one thing I think could probably be fixed. Looking at this additionally, we have, let me get rid of that. We have, we have the same 2-column approach here. I would change that, flatten those all out into 1 row each. It's going to make the page longer vertically, but it's going to be easier to use ultimately. So I think we have a good call to action down here. Otherwise, pretty solid. I think maybe instead of doing exclusively a UX rating review, calculate the UX into the UI. So take both into consideration. So what do you guys think this person deserves for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I really like the colors on this. He's applied them well in the areas that are relevant with the various sections. Some things could be, you know, the form is probably the biggest issue. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give this a 7 overall. I think I would probably have given if this were just a UI review, I would give this higher than a 7. But the forms being like this needs to be improved rather. All right. All right, so where is JVS at? Let's see here. Where did my chat go? First super chat. All right. Once again, thank you for the super chat. This is the first one. All right. Let us. There we go. We've translated it. All right. So the very first thing that is an issue here is you have a very high contrast imagery or photograph right here of a shaver in the water. My eyes are immediately directed towards this because it's such a large graphic. And then shoved all the way over here is your actual ad copy, the real important part of it. It's too much of an afterthought. I would scale the size of this down quite a bit so that, you know, you can bring the user's eye and focus the attention over here in the ad copy as much as possible. Also, the alignment of 2 stores completely just random. It doesn't look centered, it doesn't look right aligned, it doesn't look left aligned. Left align that sucker over there, or span it all the way to 100% of the width of the start of the heart to the end of shave. And like I said, move it over so it has more room to breathe. After that, let's check out what's happening next. These are videos right here, but you can't tell that they're videos, not right off the start, because there's a tiny little progress bar, the tiny little button down here. You want to rethink about how you want to display a video so it has like a larger play button in the center. Otherwise, this kind of just look like perhaps weird, illustrations of sorts. Right here, this is a UI thing, but it's also going to affect the UX because they're not going to be able to read this very well with the very small type, the very light weight of the font, and also the color, just not enough contrast, hard to read. Definitely want to improve this section quite a bit. From a UX perspective, this looks cheap. These graphics here look real like pixelated and just like dirty and like very low resolution. For me, I would think I can't take them seriously if they're going to have low res, these weird sort of. Maybe you were going for this aesthetic, but it just doesn't work in my opinion. This is pretty this is gross, I'll be honest with you. What am I looking at? I've been playing Doom Eternal, and this looks like one of the textures you might see on a monster. I possibly might want to reevaluate this section because you can't really tell that much of a difference, I guess, between these, like these two, but down here especially. So, all right, I think that's enough for this section. What do you guys think this person deserves as a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. This section up here is pretty decent, the navigation. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 2.8. I think we'll do a 2.8. Looks like I'm coming in a little bit lower than other people's. Definitely, if you don't know about my course yet, take my Scrimba course. In fact, I'm going to plug it right now. Someone like you would definitely benefit from my UI design. Look at my face. Scrimba course here. So definitely check this out. It's 9 hours and 100 lessons all about UI design. And it's going to really help you ultimately, and many other people watching us. Okay, let's now I've got rid of the shameless plug. Next up is second super chat. Awesome. Thank you, JVS, for handling this stuff. Okay. Next super chat. All right. Let's see here. All right, so first there's a little bit of a navigation issue, and we can see we have handy.watch, which is a cool domain name. It's really, the navigation up here is like really just, wait, what happened? Okay, I should not have clicked that, and now it's hijacking my browser. Okay, it looks like this is some sort of, yeah, navigation up here. A little bit too condensed up here for sure. The download now button being black, that doesn't really make sense to me. Everything up here is black, so the call to action should really stand out to help you direct the user to where you want them to go. Down here in these cards, there's just too much happening. It's really cluttering my senses, my visual senses in a sense, because we have all of these, it looks like these color presets up here. Okay, so they're like band presets. Real close to new, and then we have the watch itself, and then we have these real high contrast sections down here, and then the black and monochromatic sections over here. There's a lot of different things happening. I would try to, as much as possible, simplify this stuff, and that way it's not going to appear so cluttered to the user. Yeah, so simplify the cards a lot. That would be a real good step. Also, just in terms of from a broader perspective, looking at this, we have Halloween picks, we have all these categories, and it just seems to run on and on and on. I would rather have a navigation that easily allows me to select which of these things that I want to see. Hopefully there should be some sort of navigation here in some sense that allows me to easily, choose which one of these that I want to see. So, like for instance, you have 5 of these. I would not show 5. I would have maybe a carousel with a right and left button with a view more, maybe up at the top or the bottom. Because right now, the fact that you have like 6 here, you're leaving big empty spaces over here and over here. So it would look much better if you just stuck with 4 per category. All right, what do you guys think this person should get for a rating for both UI and UX considered? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. For me, I'm going to rate this one a... I'm going to give this one a 4. I think that's pretty solid, right around there. All right. Yeah, pretty much agree based on what people said. All right. Let's see who is next. Was there another super chat? I don't know. I don't think there was. Okay. All right. Who is next? I think I did like 2 of them. Let me see here. Did I do this person's? No, let me make sure I did the other one before that, because I don't want people getting all mad and freaking out if I skip them. Okay, we did that one. All right. Okay. Let's refresh this. We have a subtle animation. The first thing, let's see here. All right, so the first reaction I have is I want to click somewhere, right? And I don't want to have to go up here to the navigation to do so, because especially on a mobile device or a desktop, a large desktop, I got to travel my mouse all the way up here. I don't like that. So there should be some sort of area that I can click on outside of your social links right here, the icons, that tells me, that it's going to direct me to the place where I most likely want to go, and it should stand out. So you need a call to action button. That's the first thing that's lacking. Another thing that's lacking is if you don't have that, usually, sometimes people don't have like a call to action at the top, but it's clear that you can scroll down. There's no scrolling down here either. So you're lacking both of those. And so that's the biggest issue, I would say, right here. Second to that is on a large viewport like this desktop, you have a lot of empty space. So you try to fill it out more so it's not such a massive void. See, right here it's kind of better. But when we come up here, that's another thing. Up here, this just kind of thrown over here kind of throws off the flow of the design because you have a lot of white space around your logo and this section right here, your navigation. Just take this and just put it right here. Make it smaller. It's a little bit unnecessarily large, and just put it right over here, and that's going to help frame the layout a lot better. I will mention this in terms of a UI design fundamental. There's not enough separation between hi, I am Wesley, whatever your last name is, Jantz or whatever, and a JavaScript developer. A JavaScript developer should be larger, a lot larger than it is now, so you can separate those two and establish that visual hierarchy. Second, in terms of reading this is really the type. The line height right here is too small. Like, you have all this line height, and then over here you've clumped this together. So this could be definitely improved a lot just by improving the type-based aspects of this design. All right. So what do you guys think this person should get for their rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. This page is a little bit better because it's more filled out, for sure. You've put projects at the very end, but that's going to be the one thing they want to see the most. They want to see what work you're capable of producing. So put projects, you know, give them somewhere over here a place to get, you know, to your projects. That's what they're going to see. They're going to want the most, obviously. So for a rating for this, I think I'll do, what am I going to give this? Yeah, I'll give this a 4.8 or so. I just think if you really filled this page out more, gave us a call to action, it would be a lot better. All right. Who is next? All right, so no more super chats. Let's just continue on down the line. Personal portfolio. All right. Hey there, I'm Jan, web designer and web developer. I would probably want to put a space between web designer and web developer because they're not one word. They're not compound words. What else? Let's create something awesome for you. I like this section right here. So there is a clear way to get to projects. We could see it's emphasized because we do have two different buttons here. So let's click on projects. All right, so we have basically two different projects. Now, one thing that's difficult when you're first starting out as a designer and you don't have hardly any projects is having a more full example. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you put yourself in the shoes of a potential client and they only see two projects here, they're going to be left wanting something more for sure. So what I would do is, if I only had two projects, and unfortunately one of them is this page right here, I would fill this, I would make each project span 100% of the width and almost treat them like case studies where you have a title, not just this, but also a description of exactly what you're doing. And that way it won't feel so sparse, if you know what I mean, because you only have a couple projects and they're like, wow, this guy has like no experience. And that may be true, but you need to really, like, the fewer projects you have, the more you need to really, I'm not going to say brag them up or bolster them, but just talk about them more in terms of like a case study. Next up, this form right here is going to be a little bit hard to follow, simply because you don't have enough white space between the bottom of each text field and the top of the label. So everything's scrunched in too much. Going to be a little bit hard to follow. Give it white space between each of those. I like the aesthetic on the buttons. So yeah, overall, not too bad. I like the colors for sure. Just kind of this section, I would say, definitely would need to be improved in terms of just adding more content. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Wow, it's already 30 minutes in. I'm going to give this one. Yeah, see right here as well, it seems to just run on in the, like, it's just boring sections. You know, try to think about how you can do this maybe a little bit more unique in each of that, you know, in each of those. I'm going to need to give this a, probably like a, I don't know, I'll just say like around a 6. Yeah. Because nothing too, like, wrong was occurring with it. Just some subtle thoughts. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, though. I think we got another one. Let's see here. Was this it? All right. Here's another super chat. Thank you for that super chat, by the way. All right. We have the, given new ideas. Creative web design. Okay. A little bit hard to read the creative like web design part because they're large text, but also like the letter spacing is quite far out there. I'd probably scale that down about, to like 20% or so of where it's at now. Now, in terms of UX, again, this is one of those issues where you're not giving any direction outside of the navigation, and you're not giving any scroll indicator, at least, that you should be able to scroll down more. So that's an issue here. Give them somewhere to go. All right. Outside of that, I wish I had the translate option. For some reason, it's not showing up here. That way I can see kind of what's happening. I like the UI design here. Pretty good in terms of the colors. Unfortunately, some of it's English. Discover needs, design project, deliver success, or, well, whatever. All right, so we have one thing that I've recently stumbled upon is when it comes to text fields that have the same color as the background. So this is a white background, and then there's a white background behind the actual text fields, and the only thing that's separating us is just a 1 pixel underline. Some users will find that hard, and even if you're kind of like a newer internet user, you may think to yourself, these are just line separators and they're not actual text fields. So you should always give them, if you're going to do the underline, that's fine, but also give it at least a subtle background color to encase the fact that this is a rectangle that you can type into. Unfortunately, I don't have context here because I'm not sure what this stuff says. I only speak English. But yeah, just the big thing is give them somewhere to go right here, a call to action of some sort, as much as possible. And then secondly, fix the form down here. Other than that, I like how things are spaced out in terms of white space. It looks like it would be pretty much easy to understand and to use. This right here, the projects, not too sure if I'm happy with just having them show up like this in this context. Maybe have some, because you have a lot of white space right here. It's empty. So I would probably put the actual project title, scale this down a bit, put a title, its brief description, and a call to action button to check it out as well. I know you can click on this, but actually having a visual button helps too. All right, so what do you guys think this person gets for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Me, I'm going to give this a... All right, I'm going to give this a 6.5 or so. It seems like people pretty much agree for the most part. All right, thank you for the super chat, though. Awesome stuff. Mr. JVS. Here's another super chat. All right. Hello, I'm Octavian. All right. Let's see here. All right, so as I talked about before, one thing that you want to do is your name is not what people care about. So you can have your name, of course, but shift the emphasis from this, make it smaller, and to preferably a headline. So add in an actual headline. Right now this is your headline, but this is going to be more of like a subtitle. Add in a headline that has, you know, a few words that emphasizes a benefit. You know, I help you build your web app experiences or something stupid like that. Just emphasize a benefit of how you're going to help somebody. And then underneath that, have this section, maybe make it a little bit larger as well, and maybe not quite so much verbiage initially. Then again, we're lacking a call to action. Always put a call to action that will help direct people. I know you can scroll down, but there's no indicator that you can scroll down, and especially because you don't have any scroll bars here, it's more of an issue too. So definitely check that out. I like the smooth scroll. It's coming down here. We have a watermark. That's pretty good. I like the type. I like the border. What can I do? Again, I'm going into UI review. It's supposed to be UX review. Coming down here, what are the projects? Looks like this is obviously not complete, so I'm not going to hang out there. Now, if this says how important is a website for you, and then you don't have an answer, you're leaving people hanging. So maybe it's incomplete, and you're not, 100% finished. But definitely answer that question. Put a button that says, "Well, let us answer that," or something, something witty like that would help. One issue in terms of usability is there's no way for me to get back to the top, so I have to scroll, and it's hijacking the scroll, and I can't go as fast as I want to. So if I try to go really fast, this is the fastest I can do it, when really I should be able to get there faster. So have a way for users to get back to that top quickly. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Check the mobile. Yeah, mobile for this would be kind of an issue. Well, phones aren't this tall, but it also is kind of lacking any area to get to the a menu of sorts. All right, so what do I think this deserves? It has a lot of good things going for UI-wise, but there are a number of issues UX-wise. So I'm going to factor that into my rating, which will bring it to a 6 or so. Thank you for that. The UI design is better than a 6 for sure. Just some UX issues there. All right. So now, who is next? All right, so somebody sent in a super chat, but he didn't give a Discord username. So if, Ernest, make sure you notify us of your Discord username in the Discord chat here. All right, so I'll go back up to the regular view, and we'll see. All these people messaging me. I'm not going to be checking out your messages because I don't know what you said. You could be like trolling me or something. Nope. Oh wait, Ernesto? Is this it? It might be, and actually it might be Ernesto. Let me go back here. Mr. JVS. Ernest. I don't know. We'll find out if that's him or not, though. Verify for us, and then JVS can let me know. Okay, we'll come back up here. Who did we let off with last? Wait, is that guy's name? RUDZ. Oh my god, I hate Discord. It automatically puts me back to the very bottom. Oh, this is it. Right here. There we go. All right, this is the I think the last super chat. All right, so Ernest Rudziak or whatever, front-end developer and UI UX designer. My resume. Okay. What happens when I click this? Probably just downloads a file or nothing. Okay, well, maybe it's not done. All right, so this page is a little bit frustrating because of the alignment. First, we have two sidebar icon-based navigations that are vertical. One's aligned over here, real nice in the center, and then one's just way down over here, and it's throwing me off. it's like there's a massive void in the center, and it's just pushing everything out like there's an explosion or something. Kind of like how in the galaxy, or the universe, all the galaxies are just like expanding out randomly. So you definitely need to improve the layout of this, because this stuff probably would work best if it was centered, or more centered at least. And I wouldn't have two navigations like this with icons. You have icons everywhere. You got icons over here, there, everywhere. And also, generally speaking, when you're on a larger desktop viewport like this, you can afford to put labels with them as well. You don't always have to, but that's just one thing that you can do. Coming down here, just checking out what is happening. I think in relation to the size of these illustrations and these being spread out so far over there, reverse this. This should be left aligned next right here to this section, because it lacks a clear structure of layout, and it's just too far to scan. So I would fix that. All right. These cards aren't too bad. Kind of like a unique thing that we have in here. The icons need to be scaled down quite a bit. I think that's one thing that's throwing off the flow of all this, as well as these icons. So they're looking quite cluttered when they could be simplified. And one way to do that is by taking these, scaling them down quite a bit more, along with this one too even. All right, what do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the best, 1 being the worst. Sorry, I was reading somebody's wording and it got into my verbiage. 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I could see there is potential in terms of UI design. It's just a little bit inconsistent, and definitely a big area of issue up there. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5. That's where I'm going. Seems like everybody's all over the place. 7, 7, 7, 8, 2, 5. So we have a lot of disagreements here. All right. Next up. So JVS. He also didn't give a Discord username. All right, so Alejandro, make sure you let us know what your Discord username is. All right, 7th here. All right, next up. Yes, that's true. A lot of small changes do go a far way. So having, with that in mind, if I've rated any of you guys like a 3 or 4 or lower than you would like to be, just understand that for most of them, it's small changes. They really will boost the score quite a bit. All right, so what is this? We're on Instagram. Why do we got an Instagram project here? Well, okay, we'll see this. Let me increase this. Unfortunately, because it's a video, I can't navigate it how I would like to. I like the animations that I'm seeing, but unfortunately, let me just refresh this. Yeah, I can't really give, I'm just watching it. Let me just shut up. Yeah, this looks pretty solid. I mean, again, I would like to be able to actually use it so I can get a better understanding, because it's also kind of pixelated in this video form, but it's pretty good. The animations and the micro animations and interactions are really cool, though, for sure. I can't really identify just in this video form anything that seems like it's really wrong with the UX. If anything, maybe that whole animation after add to cart is clicked is maybe a little bit, could be sped up a little bit faster. You click add to cart. It says hang on, adding to cart, added. I mean, maybe just a tad bit faster. But other than that, this is pretty solid. All right, very good. Oh, swipe. I'm supposed to swipe? Oh, okay. There we go. Look, he's freaking out in the chat. Yeah, I don't see anything really wrong with this in terms of UX and even UI, I would say. Probably, yeah, this is pretty solid. Yeah, I don't think I have anything too bad to say about this. Interesting colors. Yeah, maybe a little bit less saturated for the background because it is kind of saturated a bit. But other than that, pretty solid. Yeah, good stuff. What do you guys think? He did send a super chat. We'll do a rating. 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. I'm going to give this a... yeah, I think we'll do that. I mean, the animations really, you know, were really thoughtful. So I'm going to give it an 8. Very solid. Good stuff. Thank you for the super chat, too. 8th super chat. Yep, go there. All right, thank you, person, for this super chat. And let's do another review. All right. Biggest issue that I have with this, and again, you know, a lot of times the UI will affect the UX, so they are intertwined a lot. So there's an issue with both the UX and UI of this section right here, and that is everything is clumped together. It makes it hard to read, and that's a UX issue, but it's a UX issue created by a lack of application of a UI design fundamental, which is white space. So you want to, you know, let me just do this. You want to take this element and do a margin top of like 1 EM. And then you want to take margin bottom, maybe like 2 M's. Maybe not quite as much. There's going to be a nice, you know, section in the middle. Well, yeah, what you would want to do is also, there's no reason to have this on 2 lines. Like building websites, maybe 1 pixel at a time, maybe push that over here. Yeah. But anyhow, this right here, the spacing makes it so much easier. I would probably increase the size of these slightly. So if I refresh, we're going to see what it used to look like. See how it's all clumped together? So definitely want to improve that. Coming down here, too much type. It's an overload. Most people aren't going to sit there reading all this stuff. They're really not. So where code becomes an art, I would probably not put that section so like right here. You do have an art portfolio button, which is good because you're directing them to an area. But yeah, just a little bit too much type here, I would say, the way you have it just centered like this. If you can create a section that's a little bit more unique with an illustration of some sort, maybe left, you know, put that to the right, left align this text instead of centering it, and then maybe just using this right here, maybe at most this amount of copy, and then have like an about us section. And just having this about us link like this kind of just seems, well, it's inconsistent in terms of white space. You have all this up here and then it's this down here. This almost looks like a heading too, so make it into maybe more of like an actual button. Same thing down here, you have services and then our services button just kind of gets hidden. So you need to work on that a little bit more. All right, so what do you guys think this person should get? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm going to give it a 3.5, maybe 4. But yeah, just too much text overall. Look at all this text that we're thrown at. So yeah, definitely fix that. Thank you for the super chat though. Who is next? I don't think there's anybody else. All right, so now it's time for me to find my place in line. Wait, what is... Oh, okay. Oops. I'm looking at the wrong freaking chat. I was like, somebody like using my name? All right. Who's next? I think we did this one. I want to make sure that, and of course, it's taking forever to load. Yeah, we already did that one. Review my first design. Oh, people, we got a first designer here. We'll see how this pans out for him. All right, VDS hosting. All right, we got a pretty large navigation up here. Might want to scale these down, links, the sizes rather. Unfortunately, I can't read any of this, so I'm lacking context here. We have a card. In terms of alignment, this is not centered, it's not right aligned, and it's not left aligned. It's just kind of thrown here randomly. Definitely fix that. Sorry, I'm like my throat's bothering me. So definitely fix that because it just looks thrown random. I mean, at least center it, you know, not just almost center it. Unfortunately, again, I'm missing the ad copy, so that leaves out a lot of the UX stuff that I'm thinking about. In terms of UI, you have nice white space here and here, but then you have a tiny amount of white space on this next section. So I would improve that. I got the coronavirus or something. Okay, anyhow. And also, I would probably not use this dark gray here because it doesn't really contrast well with this already dark image up here. So, you know, make this a real light gray. I think that would be better. And then make the cards white like you have them here in the background. If this is your first design, you've done quite well, though. One thing it's an issue here, I can already tell, this blip of text is not centered into the card itself, yet these ones are. So that's going to throw things off, just in their overall design. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't read it, and because it's a Figma prototype, it's not translating it. But yeah, if this is your first design, this is actually really solid for a first design, for sure. So yeah, very good. What do you guys think for a rating? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm going to say a yeah, for this one, yeah, I'll give it a 4-ish or so. But for a beginner, that's actually a much higher rating, I would say, just for the fact if this really is the first design. Good stuff. All right, is there anybody else that was here? We have about 6 minutes left, so we'll go to the next person. Grabster. I've made a lot of improvements to our portfolio site since last time you reviewed it. It's now also responsive. Page reload is needed for mobile review, and that's how Wix works. All right. Digital artist and content creator. All right, so we have an about and a contact. We have a logo folio right here. All right, so it's nice to initially to see your work right off the bat. Let's see here. What happens when we click these? All right, so kind of get like a little bit of like a light box thing that shows up, which I'm fine with. And we can also, I would make this little right icon stand out a little bit more, just a bit more. Also, on the larger view desktop, I would increase the scale of everything here. That way, and also it's a little bit misaligned. It's a little bit above this, the actual preview. But yeah, overall, this is, you know, for a very simple portfolio, this works pretty well. I like the icon-based nav up here. We have a blog, simple logo. I'd probably show Grabster by default. It'll fill it out a little bit more. But yeah, pretty solid. We'll check out the mobile. Now, it is getting cut off here. I'm not sure if that's how it would behave when you're actually on a mobile device, but right here, like if I refresh, there are scroll bars. So again, I'm not sure if that's what would happen if this is on actual mobile device, because it looks like it goes out to here minimum, which is like a tablet size. Pretty solid though otherwise. What do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Why no one told me? I come late. All right. Yeah, for this one, yeah, I think we'll just give it a solid 7. Yeah, it's a solid 7 in my opinion. All right. Who is next? All right. Titus, one of our mods. What do you say? I made this the other day when I was bored. I'm working on a logo for it. It's not done. The company is called Hyperion, after the Greek Titan, and he stands for, among other things, wisdom. Okay, it's not a lot, but any feedback or ideas, like what to do with the design, especially what to do with the background, is welcome. All right. Let's check it out. So this is just a PNG. It's not interactive. We have a left inline navigation, which is a little bit different. Most people have the logo over there to the left. I would say the home, about, products, and FAQ, and then have a really large login button. I would scale down the login button a little bit because it's quite overpowering. Welcome to the better internet. There's quite a bit of text here. I would shorten that probably by removing the last sentence if you could, to make it easier for people, because people don't want to read paragraphs of text, especially like on the hero section. The background's interesting. I don't think there's anything too wrong with it. Help us help you. That's a little vague, because what are people signing up here for? So I think you need to be more direct with the ad copy. I like the call to action button. I like the colors overall. Pretty solid, I would say. Maybe work on the type a bit too, because it looks pretty standard, like it's just Arial or something. So I would fix that up too. And it would make it a little bit more modern. All right, so what do you guys think? This person, all right. Put user, hide user on this channel. There we go. All right, be quiet. Okay. What do you guys think this person should get for a rating? 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Because it's not interactive, there's not much here. I think I'll go ahead and give this one a 6.5, yeah, or so. I like the color scheme and all of that. All right. All right, people. Oh, I'll do one more. I won't be lazy. All right, we'll do one more. Yeah, it was, I think it was that guy's too, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. One more. Here we go. It's a Figma prototype, and nobody send a super chat because I'm not doing any more after this. My face hurts from talking. Ugh. Look at me touching my face and stuff. Everybody's telling me not to do that. Let's hit play. All right. So my first reaction is, here, let me see if I can, why can't I get this a little bit larger? Oh, well, whatever. My first reaction is the type needs work. You know, I would bold up design code, create, perhaps put it up a little bit higher, decrease the line height between them a little bit. And the projects and about gets, there's not enough contrast there based on the background. So increase the contrast to be easier for people to see that there's an actual projects button in an about section. Let me come down here. Wall of text, and there's no white space between the different paragraphs here. So you want to, same thing right here. It's just a little bit too much type there. A little bit too blocky as well. You have the section right here with the thumbnail, and then this section, which is a hard section, a high contrast section between them. So it's making things look a little bit blocky. So I would simplify that more as much as possible. And the background of the text fields almost look like they're what do you call, disabled. So I would work on that as well. The send button, again, I see you're going for like this pastel type of color scheme, but they're really not just standing out enough in my opinion. And also, you know, the view all button should be on this mobile viewport 100% width out to here and here. Same thing with the send out to here and here. So there's just too much happening with all these sectioned off high contrast areas, and it's just making it cluttered quite a bit in my opinion. So what do you guys think this person should get? A final rating, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm going to give this one a 4. Yeah, I think we'll give it 4. All right, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Yeah, going forward, expect new videos next week. As always, I'm still churning out content. Nothing's really changed much for me for this lockdown. My kids are already homeschooled. I work from home, so nothing's changed in that regard. My wife's a registered nurse. She works part-time, and she actually, she's working now. She works Thursdays and Fridays. But fortunately, she doesn't have to be around patients because she sits in her own little office on the phone all day. And she works for a pediatric hospital, so or a pediatric office, a big one. And she just does triaging. She tells people. So fortunately, you know, she's pregnant actually. She's going to be giving birth in less than 7 weeks. But here's the thing, it's not my child. It's not my child. But that's okay because it's not her child either. She's a surrogate. That's right. So basically, she is a surrogate for a couple that lives in China. So this couple, the woman is unable to have children because she has a liver issue and it would be too dangerous. And so her egg was implanted into my wife, and then my wife is carrying their baby. So yeah, very interesting. It is indeed. And what's horrible about this, though, is because of the whole lockdown and the baby's going to be born in less than 7 weeks, they can't be here. So they, you know, understandably, they don't speak any English, and we communicate sometimes through a video conference call. And we have a surrogacy company, and they employ a translator. And last time we talked to them last week or the week before, understandably, you know, they're kind of shaken up because they realized they're not going to be able to get here on time to see their baby be born and be able to take them back to China. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one for them because I don't think they're going to be able to get here. Fortunately, my wife Her coworker, they've been wanting to foster her and her husband, and so they're actually going to be a temporary custody, a temporary guardian of the baby until the Chinese the Chinese couple can actually arrive here in the United States. So it's crazy, yeah. Why would they go with someone all the way across the world? I'm not certain on this, but I think there's a high degree of people from China who use U.S. surrogates, or United States surrogates, because there's probably legal issues, I would think. In surrogacy is not legal even in all 50 states of the United States, which is crazy. Which, like, why wouldn't it be legal? So I think it's probably a legality issue. Yeah, so anyhow, we knew we didn't want to have any more children. We have 2 daughters. They're homeschooled. They're always driving me nuts. Like, we're done having kids. But my wife always wanted to do this, so that's what we did. And anyhow, yeah, I thought I would just put that out there. I'm ranting, digressing. But I'll see you guys next week with more tutorials. By the way, I did release that Scrimba course, and I am going to be releasing 2 more courses. Hopefully, well, I'm not going to say hopefully. I am doing it before the end of the year. And I'm going to tell you what those courses are. First, this is the UI Design Bootcamp. Just released it. We have probably close to 1,000 students already. And it's really going to, it's 9 hours, just about 9 hours of UI design that is featured in Scrimba.com, which is a very cool platform, an interactive platform for learning. And my other 2 courses are going to be, the first one is going to be a very robust, again, I'm aiming for like 10 hours, Figma UI UX course. So it's going to be really geared towards just sticking solely within Scrimba. I mean, not Scrimba, but Figma, all these similar named software. And then the second one is going to be the same concept as the Figma course, except geared towards Adobe Experience Design, Adobe XD. Animax, I can't take, my wife offered to take care of the child, but the surrogacy company would not allow it because of the legality issues that would potentially arise due to my wife gaining too strong of a bond with the child, which could definitely happen. She's giving birth to it already, and that's going to be challenging emotionally, and then having to give it away. So that's why we can't watch it. All right. Watch the baby. All right, so I will talk to you guys very soon. Thanks for participating, and all those of you who sent in a super chat. All right, see you guys later.